Welcome, guys, to another episode. Not another episode. It's part two of Rock Chalk Film Room. It's Shreyas Laddha, Carter Stanley. You know the drill. We're going into what KU needs to do well on offense and defense against OU. And I think the first thing is we're going to start on the offensive end. You guys remember this play. It's kind of classic. It's Jason Bean, fake handoff, throws it deep, hits a wide open Mason Fairchild, boom, touchdown. And it worked so well because Kansas had sold the run game. OSU was expecting the run game, and Jason Beam took advantage of that fact. And I think that's something that Kansas really needs to do is take advantage of the fact that OU knows Kansas is going to run the ball. They know they're going to try and really kill some clock, and I think that's such a key thing in this game. And why not have plays like this where you're faking it to your running back and it opens up the entire field, especially because I bet you there's going to be a lot of stacked boxes against Devin Neal and Daniel Highshaw.
Yeah, no, Shreyas, I totally agree. And, I think KU just really has to start off this game with the mentality that we're going to run the ball until we can't. And, it might not be sexy. It might not be, big plays, but if you're getting 4 yards of play on, a run play, that's exactly what you want against this OU team. Because I tell you what, rewatching the 2021 game, the first year under Leipold, and obviously that was a different coaching staff for Oklahoma. They had Lincoln Riley, but Kansas ran the ball so well and controlled the clock. I think the total play count was, I think KU had 65 plays, Oklahoma had 54. I think the time of possession was like 36-24. So I think that's another thing they need to do, because when they played last year, Oklahoma had 100 plays. They had just shy of 500 yards in the first half. And, KU, if they want to be effective, they really have to establish the run early. And, once they establish the run, you're going to get some great RPO opportunities like this for some chunk plays.
No, 100%. And just kind of building off that, we remember the Texas game where I felt Kansas got away from the run game. They ran the ball, I think, 7 times in the second half, and it was a disaster. It really was. And you can't have that happen against OU. I don't care how good OU does. You have to keep the defense honest, because you're looking at a quarterback that has the tendency, even with time, to make mistakes. Because if they're putting 3 or 4 guys rushing him in coverage, he could force something and you're looking at another pick or something like that. So, kind of leading right into that is some film from last year, Kansas OU. I really like this play because I think Jason has a tendency to kind of get a little skittish sometimes in the pocket. He likes to roll out. So, there's a 3-man rush that comes at him, and he buys a little bit of time, I think. And I feel like he's a little more comfortable when he's not in the pocket almost.
Yeah, no, I think Jason has always thrown a good ball on the run, whether that's, designed bootleg or play action, and he gets out of the pocket, whether it's rolling right, rolling left. I think Jason throws it really well on the run. And not to mention, if the throw's not there, if the receiver's not open, he's already on the perimeter. He's outflanked most of the defenders in the box. He could take off, be by the sideline, get 5 to 10 yards and step out of bounds. So I think that's going to be a big thing. That's another thing that KU did really well in 2021. They did a lot of bootlegs, a lot of play actions, a lot of stuff to get Bean active. And, I think that's going to be crucial for them on Saturday.
Yeah, and you look at a play like this, how comfortable do you feel like it makes a quarterback like Jason, where, he can have a great day for 3 quarters and then he can throw 2 interceptions, like how much of a comfortability thing is it to have him really get going from, I think, the first quarter?
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And, again, I think you do that by establishing the run and, staying away from just true drop back passes. Obviously you got to avoid, try to avoid the third and 13s like this play is. But, when you do get situations like that, I think it's great to just get him out of the pocket, get him mobile, and, because it kind of opens up different throwing lanes than when you're just standing in the pocket. When you're standing in the pocket, it just kind of, it's more angular and, when you're on the run, you could just truly get in line with everything, whether it's, throwing it right in front of you or just taking off. So yeah, I think we'll probably transition over to defense here. Let me see. Let's see here. Yeah, so moving over to defense, I think it's going to be huge just watching OU and what they do well. And, first off, they do just about everything well. I think they're the number 2 offense in the country right now. Really good balance of throwing the ball, running the ball. And what they really like to do is it's a spread offense, but they get these wide receivers super wide. They have really wide splits out by the sideline. And then obviously inside, you got the offensive line, the quarterback, and the running back. And, they pretty much just line up in these formations to see how teams are going to, line up against it. And if you have a heavy box, if you're trying to stop the run, then, they're going to do a lot of vertical game. Watch out for on Saturday. They're going to do a lot of vertical switches where they'll take the slot receiver and the outside receiver and just have them switch. Really tough for the defense to stop, but you just got to be disciplined, in your man and zone coverage. But on the other side of things, if you try to cover the pass, keep a light box, then it's going to be inside zone the whole time. But one thing that I really think KU needs to do when they do bring pressure is bring it from the left side, because Dylan Gabriel being a left-handed quarterback, I've noticed obviously it's more natural for a quarterback to roll to the side that he throws on, like his right arm quarterback rolling right. Dylan Gabriel, I don't think I've seen a play really where he rolls right and throws it with his normal hand, his left hand. So you'll see here, it's pressure from the right side. He scrambles out, pressure from the left side. He scrambles out right. Definitely had the angle. Like Dylan Gabriel is a good athlete. He's going to be able to outrun this defensive lineman here. But naturally, he doesn't like it, goes back, gets clocked. Like, we need to make plays like that. We need to force him to go away from his strong side. And, I think that could definitely cause some panic.
And you talked about the space and just how big they have, spacing out the field a little bit with the wide receivers. They don't have a guy like CeeDee Lamb anymore, right? But they do have 4 guys that have over 300 receiving yards. What does KU do to mitigate that? I mean, like, you have guys that maybe they're not a superstar wide receiver, but you can't forget about them because any of them could go off,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, honestly, I think might sound crazy, but with the reasoning that you just said, like, they don't have a true game record, I feel like, at wide receiver. And with that being said, you can't just give them the 5-yard routes, the 10-yard routes, and let them just, chop down the field the whole way, because that's what they did last year. They obviously ran the ball really well when there was a light box, but, I think you almost need to play tighter coverage, not necessarily press, but get about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Say, hey, we're not going to give you 5-yard hitch routes, 5-yard out routes, screens. Like, make Dylan Gabriel throw the ball deep, honestly. I think he does have a great deep ball, but it's just the nature of the sport. Like, it's a low percentage play. And, heck, if you get burned on 2 or 3 of them, then you maybe make adjustments. But I think from the get-go, you play close to the line of scrimmage, and that'll actually bring us to the next video where you'll see here UCF light box. Again, you get an Oklahoma with wide receivers way out wide. You got 6 guys in the box here, but OU has 5 O-linemen, a tight end, quarterback, and a running back. That's 8 versus 6. The next biggest threat is this safety standing on the first down marker. He's 10 yards off, outside the box, and he's probably 190 pounds. So just absolutely zero threat to stop the run. And I think KU needs to stay away from too high safeties as much as possible, because as you'll see here, it's way too easy for them. They get 12, 13 yards there. And, that's really what they did a lot of last year. Just anytime there was a light box, they're running inside zone and getting good plays.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kansas is going to have their hands full against this offense. And honestly, I think the biggest defense against this offense is keeping the ball away from OU. Honestly, if you can win the time of possession battle, I think that's the only way Kansas has the chance of an upset. I think, even at home.
Yeah, no, totally. Couldn't agree more. It's going to come down to time of possession. Just minimizing the time that Oklahoma's offense is on the field. Definitely turnovers too. I think the close games that OU has had this year, with the exception of the Texas game, I think it's all been games where, like UCF in this game, I think they had less turnovers than Oklahoma. Cincinnati played them close. It was 20-6. They had, I think, even turnovers. So, we can't go out there and forcing passes on offense. We can't put the ball on the ground. And, transversely, we got to get back to wreaking havoc on defense and creating some of those turnovers.
Well said. I think it should be a fun one on Saturday. Always fun doing these, and appreciate you guys' comments and kind of love and all that. And, Carter said it best. It's going to be a fun one, and let's see if the Jayhawks can pull off an upset.
Let's do it.